It was an ordinary Tuesday at the Allen Radio Observatory when Dr. Samantha Wells spilled her coffee. The liquid spread across her desk, threatening her keyboard, but she didn't move to clean it. Her eyes were fixed on the computer screen where a pattern of signals pulsed in a rhythm too regular to be natural. "Joe, come look at this," she called to her colleague across the room. Joe Franklin pushed his chair away from his own computer and rolled over to her station. "What am I looking at, Sam?" "I'm not entirely sure," she said, her voice barely above a whisper. "But I think we just made first contact." Within 24 hours, observatories around the world confirmed what Samantha had discovered. The signal was coming from deep space, specifically from an object moving toward Earth at incredible speed. News channels interrupted regular programming. Social media exploded with theories. Government hotlines were flooded with calls. In Washington, D.C., Major Eric Jenkins was pulled from his morning run by an urgent call. 2 hours later, he sat in a secure room beneath the Pentagon, surrounded by military brass and civilian scientists. "We're forming a special task force," General Linda Powell told him. "Your background in both military strategy and xenolinguistics makes you uniquely qualified, Major." Eric nodded, his face serious. "What do we know about the signal, ma'am?" A scientist with thick glasses stepped forward. "Dr. Wells from Allen Observatory has made the most progress in decoding it. The beings call themselves the Voidari. They claim to come in peace." "And we believe that?" Eric asked. General Powell's lips thinned. "We're preparing for all possibilities." Meanwhile, at the observatory, Samantha worked without sleep. The message contained mathematical sequences that unlocked a simple language system. As she decoded more of the signal, a picture emerged of the Voidari, a species that claimed to be far more advanced than humans, monitoring Earth for centuries. "They say they're coming to help us," she explained to her team, "to protect us from cosmic threats we aren't aware of." 7 days after the initial signal, radar stations around the world detected a massive object entering Earth's orbit. It was bigger than the International Space Station by many times, a dark shape that blocked the stars as it moved. World leaders gathered for an emergency United Nations session. Military forces went on high alert, and in Denver, Colorado, officials prepared a landing site in an open field after receiving coordinates from the alien vessel. Samantha arrived at the site with a team of scientists and translators. Major Jenkins stood nearby with armed soldiers, his hand never far from his weapon. "Do you think they're really here to help?" she asked him as they waited. Eric studied the sky. "I don't know, Dr. Wells. In my experience, nobody travels that far without wanting something in return." The crowd fell silent as a bright light appeared in the afternoon sky. A smaller craft, shaped like a smooth teardrop, descended slowly toward the field. No engines were visible. No sound could be heard. The craft touched down on the grass without disturbing a single blade. For several minutes, nothing happened. Then, a section of the smooth hull simply disappeared, revealing an opening. The beings that emerged made Samantha catch her breath. They were tall, at least 7 feet, with slim bodies that seemed to bend like willow branches in the wind. Their skin had a faint glow to it, shifting in color from blue to purple. Most striking were their 4 arms, all moving with careful precision as they stepped onto Earth soil. 5 of them approached the human delegation. The one in front wore what looked like a silver band around its long neck. "We are the Voidari," a voice said, though the being's mouth, a small opening near the bottom of its face, didn't move. The voice came from the silver band. "We have come to elevate humanity and protect your people from dangers beyond your understanding." President Sofia Martinez stepped forward. "On behalf of Earth, we welcome you. We have many questions." The lead Voidari nodded, a surprisingly human gesture. "We will answer all in time. We bring gifts of knowledge and technology. Your people suffer from problems we solved millennia ago." As the formal greetings continued, Samantha noticed something odd. Despite their graceful movements, the aliens seemed to labor to breathe in Earth's atmosphere. One in the back was constantly checking a device strapped to one of its 4 wrists, pointing it toward the sky, the ground, and the air around them. "Are you comfortable here?" she asked when given a chance to speak. Our atmosphere, it is different from ours, the Voidari responded through the translator band. But we have prepared. Your world is vibrant, full of life. Major Jenkins noticed it too. The aliens moved with care, as if afraid of breaking. Their bodies, while tall, seemed fragile, lacking muscle. Despite their claimed superiority, they looked physically vulnerable. The aliens requested meetings with Earth scientists, doctors, and leaders. They promised to share technology to clean Earth's environment, cure diseases, and solve energy problems. All they asked in return was permission to study Earth's unique ecosystem and biodiversity. Why would such an advanced species care about our plants and animals? Eric asked Samantha later, as they watched the aliens set up equipment near the landing site. Samantha shook her head. I don't know. But did you notice how they flinched when the wind picked up? How carefully they avoid touching anything directly? Almost like they're afraid of getting dirty, Eric said. Or infected, Samantha added. Within days, the Voidari established bases around the world. They handed over plans for clean energy systems and medical devices beyond human understanding. Governments cautiously accepted these gifts while watching the visitors closely. Samantha was assigned to work with a Voidari scientist named Tekla on medical technology. The alien was brilliant but strangely interested in basic human biology. Your immune systems are remarkable, Tekla told her one day. So adaptive, so resilient despite your exposure to countless pathogens. Something in the way Tekla said it made Samantha wonder. The aliens had come to help humans, but they seemed fascinated by the most basic aspects of human life. The way people healed from cuts, how they adapted to different environments, the diversity of human genetics. As the first month of the Voidari visit ended, Samantha couldn't shake the feeling that there was more to their mission than they were sharing. The aliens had come offering help, bringing amazing technology, but their interest in human biology seemed almost desperate. She didn't know it yet, but Major Jenkins was having similar thoughts. Late at night, as the Voidari ship hummed quietly above the Earth, he was planning an unauthorized visit to learn what the aliens might be hiding. The truth would change everything they thought they knew about their cosmic visitors. 3 weeks after the Voidari landed, they requested a special meeting at the United Nations. Leaders from every country gathered in New York. The session broadcast to billions of people worldwide. The air in the room was tense with excitement and worry. Zelnar, the Voidari ambassador, glided to the podium. Its forearms moved in gentle patterns as it spoke through the silver translator band. People of Earth, we have studied your world and found it full of potential. Yet you face many problems: climate change, disease, energy shortages, food insecurity. The Voidari wish to share our knowledge to help solve these challenges. The room stayed silent as Zelnar explained their offer. The aliens would give humans technology to clean the oceans, remove carbon from the air, cure most diseases, and create unlimited clean energy. In exchange, they asked only for permission to study Earth's plants, animals, and people. This is not colonization, Zelnar said. It is elevation, a gift from one sentient species to another. After the speech, world leaders voted to accept the offer. Within days, joint research facilities opened across the globe. The Voidari shared designs for machines that seemed like magic to human engineers. Dr. Samantha Wells was assigned to work directly with the Voidari scientist Tekla at a new medical research center in Colorado. The building was filled with equipment no human had ever seen before. This scanner can find cancer cells before they form tumors, Tekla explained, showing Samantha a device the size of a cell phone. Your doctors could save millions with this technology. Samantha was impressed but remained curious about the aliens' true goals. Every day she noticed how Tekla collected samples of human blood, skin cells, and even gut bacteria. The Voidari were especially interested in the human immune system. Why does your species focus so much on our biology? Samantha asked one day. As they worked, Tekla's color shifted slightly. A reaction Samantha had learned meant discomfort. Your species evolved in a harsh environment without technology to protect you. This created biological adaptations we find fascinating. Meanwhile, Major Eric Jenkins formed a small team to investigate the aliens more closely. Despite the amazing technology the Voidari shared, something about their story didn't add up. They claimed to be from a star system 120 light-years away. He told his team during a private meeting. If they're so advanced, why travel all this way just to help us? Nobody is that generous without reason. Eric's team began tracking the Voidari's movements and monitoring their communications. They noticed the aliens always wore protective suits, outside their ships, and avoided physical contact with humans. One evening, Eric received permission to tour the main Voidari ship in orbit as part of a military exchange. While separated from the tour group, he slipped down a restricted corridor. Through a clear panel, he saw something disturbing: a Voidari without its protective gear, writhing in what appeared to be pain as human air touched its skin. On Earth, the first wave of Voidari technology began changing society. New energy plants provided power without pollution. Special machines pulled plastic from the oceans. Hospitals used alien scanners to detect and treat disease earlier than ever before. Public opinion split between those who welcomed the aliens as saviors and those who remained suspicious. Protest groups formed, worried that humanity was becoming dependent on alien technology. The Voidari solved problems in months that we struggled with for decades, a news reporter said during a popular broadcast. But at what cost? What do they really want from us? In her lab, Samantha noticed a pattern in the Voidari research. They collected endless data about human genetic diversity. They studied how human immune systems fought off infections, and they seemed especially interested in how humans adapted to different environments. One day, Samantha found Tekla alone in the lab, reviewing human DNA sequences with intense focus. These immune response genes, Tekla said, pointing to the screen, they vary so much between individuals, yet all function effectively. That's natural selection at work, Samantha explained. Different people have different resistances. It helps our species survive even when new diseases appear. Tekla's skin pulsed with a deep purple light. On our world, we engineered such variation away long ago. We chose perfect health through genetic uniformity. This casual comment struck Samantha as important. She began reviewing all her notes on the Voidari, looking for clues about their homeworld. Major Jenkins made his own discovery when his team intercepted a transmission from the Voidari ship to their homeworld. The message was mostly encrypted, but they decoded enough to be alarming. Human genetic material shows promising compatibility. Treatment development proceeding. Colony. Ship preparation underway. Eric immediately reported this to General Powell. They're planning something beyond what they've told us. Possibly a larger migration to Earth. The general frowned. Keep digging, but be careful. We don't want to provoke them while they still have ships in orbit. 6 months after first contact, the Voidari announced they would share even more advanced technology: weather control systems, food production methods, and transportation innovations. World leaders applauded this next phase of cooperation, but behind the scenes, tensions grew. Samantha found Tekla and other Voidari scientists collecting massive amounts of data on Earth's biodiversity, everything from soil bacteria to human DNA. "What's this research really for?" she asked Tekla directly. "You've given us amazing technology, but you're taking terabytes of biological data. What do the Voidari need with all this information?" Tekla hesitated, its 4 hands moving nervously. "I cannot say more without permission, but know that we truly wish to help humanity." That same week, Eric's team made a breakthrough. They managed to place a small listening device in a Voidari meeting room. What they heard confirmed his suspicions. "The human immune system offers our best hope," a Voidari voice said. "Their genetic diversity and natural resilience to pathogens, traits we engineered out of our species, may save us. We must accelerate research before more of our people die." Another voice responded, "But we cannot reveal our weakness. If humans learn that we need them more than they need us, the power balance will shift." Eric recorded everything and took it directly to the president. As they reviewed the evidence, an emergency call came in from the Colorado Research Center. Several Voidari scientists had collapsed after exposure to what appeared to be ordinary mold spores in a laboratory. The aliens were in critical condition. The Voidari ambassador immediately ordered all their people back to their ships. Communications ceased. Orbital telescopes showed the main Voidari vessel powering up its systems. Are they preparing to attack? The president asked Eric during an emergency meeting. I don't think so, he replied. Based on what we've learned, I think they're scared. They're not invaders. They might be refugees. As governments worldwide prepared for possible conflict, Samantha had a revelation while reviewing her research. Notes: the advanced aliens hadn't come to save humanity. They had come because they needed saving themselves. For 3 days, the Voidari ships remained in orbit with all communications cut off. Military forces around the world stayed on high alert. News channels showed nothing but the silent alien vessels hovering above Earth. Dr. Samantha Wells didn't sleep during those 3 days. She reviewed everything she had learned about the Voidari, especially their intense interest in human biology. The pattern was clear now. They had studied human immune systems, genetic diversity, and natural resistance to disease with desperate focus. On the 4th day, Samantha received an encrypted message on her computer. It was from Tekla. Meet me at the research facility. Come alone. There is much you must know. Major Eric Jenkins advised against the meeting when Samantha called him. It could be a trap, he warned. Or it could be the truth we've been looking for, she replied. I'm going, but I'll wear a tracking device. If I don't check in every 30 minutes, bring your team. The research center was empty and dark when Samantha arrived. Only emergency lights glowed in the hallways. She found Tekla in the main laboratory, its skin pulsing with weak blue light. Thank you for coming, the alien said. Its voice sounded tired through the translator. My leaders have forbidden this meeting, but I believe humans deserve to know the truth. Which is what? Samantha asked. Tekla's 4 hands moved in what Samantha had learned was a gesture of sadness. We are dying, Dr. Wells. Not just the few who fell ill here, but our entire species. Over the next hour, Tekla revealed the Voidari's hidden crisis. Their civilization had achieved technological wonders thousands of years ago. They had eliminated disease, controlled their environment perfectly, and engineered their genetics for intelligence and longevity. But we made a terrible mistake, Tekla explained. In our quest for perfection, we reduced our genetic diversity. We removed what we thought were flaws, the messy, redundant parts of our genome that seemed inefficient. The consequences appeared, slowly. With each generation, the Voidari became more vulnerable to new pathogens. Their identical immune systems meant that a disease that could kill one could kill them all. 200 years ago, a simple virus swept through our world, Tekla said. Half our population died before we developed a treatment. Since then, we've lived in completely sterile environments. But our biology continues to weaken. So you came to Earth looking for a solution, Samantha said, understanding now. Yes. Human beings fascinate us. You live in a soup of microbes that would kill us instantly. Your bodies fight off countless infections daily. Your genetic diversity means your species can survive almost anything. Meanwhile, Major Jenkins had convinced General Powell to let him approach the Voidari ship under a flag of truce. He was brought aboard to meet with Zelnar, the ambassador. We know you're in trouble, Eric said bluntly. Our intelligence suggests your people are suffering from some kind of immune deficiency. Zelnar's color darkened with emotion. You were not meant to discover this. Why keep it secret? We could have helped you directly. Pride, Zelnar admitted. For millennia, the Voidari have been teachers and guardians to younger species. To come as beggars rather than helpers would shame our ancestors. Back at the research facility, Tekla showed Samantha something shocking. Images from inside the main Voidari ship. Thousands of stasis pods filled massive chambers, each containing a sleeping Voidari. These are not invaders, Tekla explained. They are refugees, the last healthy members of our species. They sleep while we search for a cure. How many? Samantha asked, staring at the endless rows of pods. Approximately 200,000. All that remains of a civilization that once numbered billions. The truth spread quickly through government channels. The Voidari had not come to conquer Earth or even to help humans out of altruism. They had come in desperate need, offering technology in exchange for the biological secrets that might save their species. President Martinez called an emergency session with world leaders to address the situation. The question before us is simple. Do we help them? Some argued against it, seeing the aliens' weakened state as an opportunity. They lied to us from the beginning, Russia's representative pointed out. How can we trust them now? Others saw it differently. They came to us in their hour of greatest need, Japan's Prime Minister said. What does it say about humanity if we turn them away? The debate continued while Samantha assembled a team of Earth's best scientists. Dr. Alan Nguyen, a leading immunologist from Vietnam, Dr. Kimberly Okafor, a genetic engineer from Nigeria, Dr. Carlos Vega, a microbiologist from Brazil, and Dr. Peter Howard, an evolutionary biologist from Australia. The Voidari engineered themselves into an evolutionary corner, Samantha explained to her team. They eliminated the very traits that make a species resilient. Dr. Howard nodded. They removed diversity to achieve uniformity, but in nature, diversity is strength. While the scientists began their work, Major Jenkins received permission to visit more areas of the Voidari ship. What he found shocked him. Despite their advanced technology, the aliens lived in fear. Their living quarters were sterile boxes. They consumed only synthesized nutrients. They never touched each other directly. Your people have forgotten how to be living creatures, he told Zelnar during one visit. The ambassador didn't deny it. We chose technological perfection over biological adaptability. Now we pay the price. On Earth, Samantha's team made a breakthrough after studying the samples Tekla provided. The Voidari immune system was incredibly efficient against known threats, but had almost no ability to adapt to new ones. It's like they have perfect soldiers that can only fight one kind of enemy, Dr. Nguyen explained. Humans have messier defenses, but we can quickly retrain to fight almost anything. Dr. Okafor suggested a radical approach. What if we could introduce controlled genetic diversity back into their population, not to make them like humans, but to restore the adaptability they engineered away? The idea was promising but dangerous. Changing the genetics of an entire species could have unpredictable results, but the Voidari were running out of options. 7 days after revealing their true situation, the aliens faced a new crisis. Their ship detected a solar flare heading toward Earth, the kind their weakened bodies couldn't survive even with protection. As the flare hit Earth's atmosphere, power grids flickered worldwide. Electronic systems failed temporarily. And aboard the Voidari ship, life support systems for the stasis chambers began to fail. Zelnar sent an urgent message to all Earth governments. We need your help. Our people will die without protection from the radiation. It was a complete reversal of roles. The advanced aliens who had come to elevate humanity now needed humans to save them from a threat that Earth people had evolved to withstand. As Samantha's team rushed to develop a treatment that might help the Voidari survive, Major Jenkins coordinated a massive humanitarian response. Military and civilian aircraft delivered radiation shielding materials to locations where Voidari ships could land safely. The aliens who had once looked down on humans as primitive now watched in amazement as these less advanced beings mobilized, with incredible speed and adaptability to help strangers from another world. The solar flare that damaged the Voidari ships changed everything. 5 of their vessels made emergency landings in different parts of Earth: Russia, Brazil, Australia, Egypt, and Canada. The 6th, carrying the most stasis pods with sleeping, Voidari, remained in orbit but lost power to many systems. For the first time, the aliens were truly vulnerable. They needed human help to survive. Dr. Samantha Wells worked around the clock, leading her international team of scientists. They set up a new research center in Denver with one clear mission: find a way to help the Voidari overcome their biological weakness. We need to think differently, she told her team during their first meeting. The Voidari tried to solve this problem with technology. They failed. Maybe the answer lies in what makes humans different from them. Major Eric Jenkins coordinated security and support for the alien refugees. He arranged transportation for Voidari medical equipment and set up protected zones around their landing sites. The aliens who had once seemed godlike in their technological power now depended on human protection. How quickly things change, Eric said to Zelnar as they surveyed the Voidari camp in Canada. A month ago you were offering to solve all our problems. Now we're keeping you alive. Zelnar's skin pulsed with dark colors. It is difficult to accept. For 10,000 years, the Voidari have been the teachers, the helpers. To need assistance from a younger species challenges everything we believe about ourselves. Maybe that's part of your problem, Eric suggested. You see needing help as weakness. Humans survive because we help each other. On the third day after the landings, a new scientist joined Samantha's team. Dr. Jack Lewis was not a conventional researcher. His work on experimental immune therapies had been rejected by mainstream science as too risky. But his understanding of human immune response was unmatched. The Voidari made themselves too perfect, Jack said, after studying the alien biology. In nature, imperfection is necessary. It creates space for adaptation. Samantha nodded. They engineered away the very messiness that makes life resilient. The team focused on 3 approaches. Dr. Okafor worked on gene therapy that might restore some diversity to Voidari DNA. Dr. Nguyen developed vaccines that could train their rigid immune systems. And Dr. Lewis pursued a radical idea: controlled exposure to weakened Earth microbes to stimulate natural adaptation. While the scientists worked, tensions rose around the world. Some people welcomed the aliens and offered help. Others protested, fearing the Voidari would bring disease or take Earth's resources. We should focus on our own problems, one political leader argued on global news. Not alien refugees. President Martinez addressed these concerns directly. The Voidari came offering technology in exchange for studying our biology. The exchange continues, but now with honesty about their needs. They are not invaders. They are survivors seeking help, just as humans have helped each other throughout history. Major Jenkins received permission to visit the main Voidari ship in orbit. What he found was both amazing and tragic. The ship contained vast libraries of knowledge, incredible technology, and art from a civilization thousands of years old. But it also held thousands of stasis pods with dying Voidari inside. Their life support systems are failing, the ship's engineer told Eric. Without repairs and a solution to our biological crisis, they will not survive another month. Eric immediately called Samantha. We're running out of time. The ship's systems can't maintain the stasis pods much longer. We need more time, she replied. We're close to a breakthrough, but not close enough. Eric thought for a moment. What if we bring them down to Earth? Not just the awake ones, but all of them. That would expose them to our environment directly. They could die immediately, or it could save them. You said yourself that Voidari technology isn't the answer. Maybe Earth itself is. The idea was dangerous, but necessary. Using Voidari transportation systems and human aircraft, they began moving the stasis pods to secure facilities on Earth. It was the largest rescue operation in human history, saving aliens who had once looked down on humanity as primitive. Meanwhile, Dr. Jack Lewis made an important discovery. When exposed to extremely diluted Earth microbes, some Voidari cells showed signs of adaptation rather than death. Their biology remembers how to evolve, he told Samantha excitedly. They engineered these pathways into submission, but didn't remove them completely. This became the foundation for a new treatment. Using genetic material from the most resilient Voidari and techniques inspired by human medicine, the team developed a therapy to reawaken the aliens' dormant biological adaptability. It won't make them like humans, Dr. Okafor explained during a briefing with world leaders. But it might help them survive exposure to environments beyond their sterile ships. The first test subject was Tekla, who volunteered despite the risks. If this fails, learn from my death, the alien told Samantha before the procedure began. If it succeeds, use it to save my people. For 3 days, Tekla remained in isolation as the treatment took effect. The alien experienced fever, pain, and cellular changes that would have killed most Voidari. But on the fourth day, something remarkable happened. Tekla's immune system began responding differently, not just attacking known threats, but adapting to new ones. When Samantha entered Tekla's room without a sterile suit for the first time, both she and the alien were terrified, but Tekla did not collapse. Instead, the alien's body fought off the minimal Earth microbes present, not perfectly, but enough to survive. "It worked," Samantha whispered, tears in her eyes. "Not completely," Tekla cautioned, still weak. "But it is a beginning." The treatment protocol was immediately shared with all Voidari groups on Earth. It wasn't a perfect solution. The aliens would never have the natural resilience of humans, but it offered hope. They could potentially survive in Earth's environment, with minimal protection rather than total isolation. Zelnar called for a meeting with Earth's leaders. The Voidari ambassador looked different now, humbled by need, yet dignified in gratitude. "For millennia, we believed technological progress was the only meaningful advancement," Zelnar told the assembled humans. "We saw your species as primitive because you still struggled with disease, climate, and biological limitations. Now we understand that these struggles kept you strong, while our pursuit of perfection nearly destroyed us." The ambassador formally requested asylum on Earth for the remaining Voidari, not as superior beings bringing gifts, but as refugees offering knowledge in exchange for a new home. "We have much to teach you about technology," Zelnar said, "but you have more to teach us about life." As the meeting concluded, Major Jenkins found Samantha in the hallway outside. "Did you ever imagine this when you spilled your coffee looking at that first signal?" he asked with a smile. She shook her head. "Never. I thought we were about to be conquered or uplifted by godlike aliens. Instead, we're teaching an ancient species how to live again. Maybe that's the greatest technology of all," Eric suggested. "Not spaceships or energy systems, but the messy, imperfect resilience that keeps life going." As they spoke, the first group of treated Voidari emerged from their medical facility. They moved cautiously, experiencing natural air and sunlight, directly for the first time in generations. Their skin shimmered with colors of wonder and fear as they took their first steps as true inhabitants of Earth rather than visitors. The species that came to help humans now learned how to be helped in return. 1 year after the Voidari ships made their emergency landings on Earth, the world had changed in ways no one could have predicted. The aliens who once arrived as technological saviors were now students learning how to survive. Dr. Samantha Wells walked through the Voidari settlement near Denver. What had begun as a temporary refugee camp was now a small town where aliens and humans worked side by side. The Voidari no longer lived in sealed environments. Thanks to the treatment developed by Samantha's team, they could now breathe Earth's air with only simple filter masks. "Dr. Wells," a familiar voice called. Tekla approached, the alien's skin glowing with healthy blue light. "The latest test results are encouraging. The third-generation treatment has increased adaptation rates by 47%. Samantha smiled. "That's amazing progress. How are you feeling personally?" "I went outside without any protective gear for 10 minutes yesterday," Tekla said proudly. "My immune response was strong and I recovered from the exposure within hours instead of days." This was a victory worth celebrating. When the treatment program began, most Voidari could not survive even seconds of direct exposure to Earth's environment. Now some could manage short periods with minimal protection. They would never have the natural resilience of humans, but they were learning to adapt again after thousands of years of engineered stagnation. Across the globe, similar progress was happening at all 5 Voidari settlements. The aliens shared their vast knowledge of physics, energy systems, and material science. Humans shared their understanding of biology, ecology, and adaptation. It was an exchange between equals now, not a gift from superior beings to primitive ones. Major Eric Jenkins, now Colonel Jenkins, arrived at the Denver settlement for his monthly inspection. He found Zelnar waiting for him at the main gate. "Colonel, thank you for coming," the Voidari ambassador said. "We have something important to show you." Zelnar led Eric to a large field at the edge of the settlement. There, dozens of Voidari children played in the open air. They wore thin protective suits, but their heads were uncovered, their faces exposed to sunlight. The first generation born on Earth, Zelnar explained. Their cells show greater adaptive capacity than any Voidari. In 10,000 years, Eric watched the children with amazement. They seem so normal. They are learning what our species forgot, how to live in harmony with a natural world rather than separating from it. Not everything was perfect. Some humans still feared or resented the alien presence. Protest groups demanded the Voidari leave Earth once they recovered, and some Voidari clung to their old beliefs about technological superiority, refusing treatments that would help them adapt. President Martinez addressed these tensions during a special United Nations session marking the one-year anniversary of the Voidari emergency landings. "We face a choice," she told the assembled leaders. "We can view the Voidari as unwanted refugees to be tolerated until they leave, or we can recognize the unique opportunity their presence offers. Two intelligent species learning from each other, combining strengths to overcome weaknesses." The vote that followed was close, but the result was clear. Earth would formally welcome the Voidari as permanent residents, not temporary visitors. In exchange, all Voidari technology would be shared openly with all nations. Dr. Jack Lewis led the next phase of the treatment program. His unorthodox methods had proven vital to helping the aliens. The Voidari need to relearn what evolution taught humans over millions of years, he explained to new doctors joining the program. That life thrives through diversity, adaptation, and yes, even through struggle. Jack's team developed new therapies that helped the Voidari reactivate dormant parts of their genome. These genes, suppressed for generations by the aliens' pursuit of genetic perfection, held the keys to survival in varied environments. Some Voidari embraced these changes fully. A group led by Tekla chose to live on a rural farm, working directly with earth soil, plants, and animals. They suffered frequent minor illnesses but grew stronger with each recovery. "Our ancestors would be shocked," Tekla told Samantha during her visit to the farm. "They believed technology should replace biology. We are discovering that biology has wisdom. Technology cannot replicate." Not all humans accepted the new relationship. A small but vocal group attacked a Voidari research facility in Europe. No one was killed, but several aliens were injured when exposed to unfiltered air. The response to this attack surprised everyone. Local humans formed a protective circle around the damaged facility, helping repair it and guarding it day and night, until official security arrived. The Voidari were deeply moved by this show of support. "We once thought humans primitive because you fight each other," Zelnar said during a press conference. "Now we understand that the same passion that drives conflict also powers your remarkable capacity for compassion." 3 years after first contact, the first mixed human Voidari council was formed to guide cooperation between the species. Dr. Samantha Wells and Colonel Eric Jenkins represented the human side, working alongside Tekla and 3 other Voidari leaders. Their first major project was the Adaptive Biology Institute, a place where both species could study what the Voidari called beneficial imperfection, the messiness of natural evolution that creates resilience. "For millennia, we eliminated variation to create uniformity," Tekla explained during the opening ceremony. "We now understand this nearly destroyed us. From humans, we have learned that diversity is not inefficiency, it is survival." The Institute became a symbol of the new relationship between humans and Voidari. Humans gained access to advanced technology that helped address climate change, disease, and energy needs. The Voidari gained something equally valuable, a path back to biological resilience. Some Voidari chose to join human communities, living and working alongside Earth people. Others created new settlements combining elements of both cultures. And a small group began preparing for something once unimaginable, exploration of worlds beyond their sterile ships, with their newfound ability to adapt. 5 years after the Ebola, Voidari arrived offering to solve humanity's problems. Earth hosted a celebration unlike any before. In a field outside Denver, near where the first alien ship had landed, thousands of humans and Voidari gathered under open sky. Dr. Samantha Wells watched as Voidari children played with human children, their different biologies no barrier to friendship. Colonel Jenkins stood nearby discussing defense strategies with a Voidari security team, and at the center of the gathering, President Martinez and Ambassador Zelnar unveiled a monument inscribed in both human and Voidari languages. It read, "Two paths of wisdom joined in mutual need, the strength of technology, the wisdom of adaptation, neither complete alone." As the sun set over the celebration, Samantha found Tekla standing alone, watching the horizon. "Do you ever regret coming to Earth?" she asked the alien who had become her friend. Tekla's skin pulsed with warm colors. "We came to help primitive humans believing we had all the answers. Instead, we found a species with wisdom we had forgotten. You reminded us what it means to be living beings, not just thinking machines. The aliens who came to Earth thinking they would be saviors had become students instead, and humanity, in teaching them, had learned valuable lessons about their own remarkable capacity for resilience, adaptation, and growth. It was not the first contact either species had imagined. It was something better.